There's that song again. It always finds you, doesn't it? Wherever you are. Settle in by the water, little ones. Come close. I want to ask you something today, and hold it the whole way through. When you count every part of a thing, every number, every measurement, does the wonder get used up? Or does it get bigger? Listen close. The answer comes walking in on 2 feet. Now, this happened on a bright spring afternoon, the creek running quick and the whole wood smelling green, the way it does when God's just finished tidying up winter. The friends were down by the water when a sound came up the path the creek only hears now and then. Footsteps, 2 feet, and in came our human friend. And down the path came Jigstar, the boy from the world outside, grass on his knees and a question already shining in his eyes. He crouched by the water and he said,
I've got a question, and it's been bugging me all the way here. My teacher said a single drop of pond water has thousands of tiny living things in it. Thousands in one drop. How does anybody even? How do you hold a fact that big?
Well, a question that big has only one answer. And down from his lecture branch swooped Professor Hoot, the most certain owl in all the creek. He cleared his throat, ahem, and announced,
A question of measurement. My favorite kind. Young scholar, you have come to precisely the correct owl. I happen to have the numbers. A single drop of this very pond holds, on a good day, more than 50,000 living creatures, each one smaller than the dot at the end of a sentence.
50,000 in one drop.
50,000 in one drop? Okay, so if I drink a whole puddle, how many is that? Wait, don't tell me, I'll get dizzy. Actually, tell me. No, don't.
And that is merely the beginning. I can give you the count of reeds along the east bank. 412. The number of times a dragonfly beats its wings in 1 second. 30. The exact depth of the pond at its middle. Your own height plus a hat. I have measured this creek to its bones, young scholar. I have counted it.
and quick as a thought, in zipped Zippy the hummingbird, 3 places at once. She buzzed a circle round Hoot's head and chirped,
Wait. 412 reeds? Did you count the bent ones? What about the one that fell over last Tuesday? Is that still a reed, or is it now a stick? Because if a reed becomes a stick, the whole count is wrong, and we have to start again. This matters, Professor. This matters.
It was a reed in spirit. I counted it. Now, where was I? Yes, I know the weight of a fallen leaf, of the speed of the creek, the precise hour the willow drops its first seed each spring. I know how many times that woodpecker over there has knocked on that tree since breakfast. 206. Ask me anything, young scholar. Anything at all. I have the number for it.
207 now. He just did another one. You're already behind, Professor. The number's moving.
207. Noted. You see, this is the discipline of it. The world moves, the careful owl keeps up. I have kept count of this creek since before some of you had names.
He really does have a number for everything. Do you know how many leaves are on that whole tree then?
11,400. Give or take. I recount after a strong wind. And before you ask, yes, I have ranked the loudest 40 bird songs by how high they sing. And no, I do not take requests.
I would like to make a request. Do the clouds next. How many clouds?
Clouds are not countable. They keep merging. It is the one thing that we do not speak of the clouds.
Noted. Hoot's scared of clouds. Writing that down.
That's amazing, honestly. My teacher would love you. She's got a number for everything too, but every time she tells me a really big number, I feel something kind of funny in my tummy, like the number's too big to really feel. Do you ever get that?
Now the boy went quiet a moment. He looked down at the water, where all those thousands of little lives were busy. And then he asked the question nobody at the creek had ever thought to ask Professor Hoot.
Can I ask you something else, though? You know how many there are, but why does it matter that there's 50,000 of them? Like, what's it for?
What is it for? It is for being 50,000 of them. It is for being counted. That is the, no, the number is the fact. The fact is the,
He stopped. Professor Hoot stopped. Did everyone hear that? Somebody write down the time.
I have not stopped. I am pacing myself. The answer is forthcoming. The answer is simply, it is a very large answer, and it requires a moment to retrieve.
It's been 4 seconds. That's the longest he's ever been quiet. I've timed it, obviously.
You are not helping.
I'm helping a little.
I don't think it's a number, though. I think why does it matter might be a different kind of question than how many. That's the one I can't stop thinking about.
And there it was, a question the most certain owl in the creek could not pick up. Hoot ruffled every feather he owned, and then he did the bravest thing a fact keeper can do.
I do not have that number. I have never had that number. I have counted every reed, and I do not know what a single one of them is for.
Now here's the quiet part. Somebody small had been listening the whole time. Over walked Shelley the tortoise, wise young Shelley, slow as ever, and she said one thing, soft the way she does.
You didn't lose the wonder, Professor. You just found the edge of your map.
And nobody quite caught it, not yet. But Jigstar had an idea, and he said it like he wasn't sure it was allowed.
Okay, what if we pick just one of the little things in the drop? One, not 50,000, and instead of counting it, we just watch it and ask what it's doing and why. Can you do that, Professor? Just one?
Watch one? Without counting? That is not a thing I have ever attempted. Very well. For science. For the good of the inquiry. Where do I look? I shall require absolute silence. That was directed at the hummingbird.
Rude. Okay, being quiet. Watch me be quiet. Down! In the water! You've literally counted it 400 times. You know where the water is. Just look down there already.
So Hoot leaned down low, the great certain owl on his belly in the mud, squinting at a single drop. And Jigstar pointed at a speck of underwater grit that had begun, very slowly, to move.
There, that little bundle of pebbles. It's moving. Is something carrying it?
That, young friend, is a caddisfly larva, a small soft creature that builds itself a tiny suit of armor out of pebbles and sand and bits of twig, all glued together with its own silk, that carries that little stone house everywhere it goes. It is wearing a home it built.
It built its own house, and it just carries it. That's the coolest thing I've seen all year.
Wait, it makes its own backpack out of rocks? Okay, I have 7 ideas about backpacks now, and 4 of them are already better than mine. And one of them is just rocks, which I'm now realising the bug already thought of.
But why does it use the pebbles from right here? Why not just any pebbles?
Because I do not wait. Because the pebbles from here make it look like here. It hides by becoming the creek bed. It built a home that is also a disguise that is also... Oh, that is rather clever, isn't it? I have counted these for years, and I never once watched one do that.
See, this is what I keep saying. You can't count a good idea. You have to watch it happen. I'm going to build a house out of the meadow now. It'll be a meadow you can wear. Hold on, that's idea number 8.
A house you can wear. That's actually a pretty good one, Zippy.
And now this is where it got interesting. Once Professor Hoot started watching instead of counting, he could not stop. He found a second thing, and a third, and each one made him quieter, not louder.
Jigstar! Look, the larva just added a new pebble to the front of its house. It is growing the home as it grows. Nobody taught it. It simply knew. How did it know?
And look, when the current pushes, it tucks down and the heavy pebbles hold it steady. The house isn't just a hide, it's an anchor too. It does 2 jobs at once.
3 jobs. It is also keeping the little thing warm. I never wrote that down. In 40 years of notebooks, I never once wrote down that it might be cozy in there. Because cozy is not a number, and I only ever collected numbers.
That's the why does it matter part, I think. It's not just that there's 50,000. It's that every single one of them got made to do something this good. On purpose. My Nan says God didn't make a single dull thing. You just have to look long enough to find the wonder in it.
On purpose? Yes. I always knew there were 50,000. I never once felt that there were 50,000. The number was in my head. This is in my chest somewhere. I do not have a unit for it. Do you know what I am afraid of, young one? I thought that if I knew every number, I would have used the creek all up, known it completely, nothing left to find. And I have spent so long counting that I forgot to be amazed. I had the whole pond in my notebook and none of it in my heart.
But you didn't use it up though. You learned a ton, and it just made one little bug get bigger and bigger the longer you looked. That's the opposite of using it up.
And that was the moment I stepped in. Quiet, the way you do when something true is happening. I crouched down by Hoot and by the boy, and I asked him just one thing. Professor, when you watch that little creature build its house out of the whole creek, what does all your counting point you toward? Not the number, the thing underneath it.
It points up. It points past me. Every number I ever wrote down was a number about something I did not make and could not have dreamed up. Somebody made that larva know how to build. The counting was always pointing at God. I was just too busy counting to follow where it pointed.
And the boy, who had asked the question that started the whole thing, nodded like that was exactly right.
So wait, does that mean the more stuff we learn, the more there is to be amazed by? That's the best deal I ever heard. That's free amazement, forever. You never run out.
Yeah, that's exactly it. The more you find out, the more there is to be amazed at. Wonder doesn't run out. It's so big, it doesn't fit in a notebook, and every single thing you learn just points a little further up.
And the whole way home, the friends turned it over together. Up in the branches sat Garingo the parrot, all bright feathers and grand opinion, and he called down the verdict of the day.
Behold, the owl who knew everything and learned the one thing he did not know. A magnificent humbling, I shall compose a ballad. It will have many verses. 41, I think.
And over thumped Bongo the bear cub with his usual cheerful crash. He scratched his ear and said,
So the more you find out about something, the more it's got in it? That's kind of like, the more I look at my own paw, the cooler it gets. And I've had this paw the whole time. Wait, I think I love my paw now.
I like the little house best. The one made out of the place it lives. I think that's my favorite thing I ever heard.
Now, Jigstar's question put me in mind of a line from the Bible, Little Ones. Long ago, a man named David, a shepherd who grew up to be a king, wrote songs to God. And one was all about being made on purpose, like that little builder in the drop. He sang it like this: I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works. That's from the Bible, from a book of songs called Psalms, the 139th song, the 14th line. Do you hear what David did? He looked at how he was made, and instead of just counting it up, he let it make him say, wow. The wonder pointed him straight up to God. So this week, little ones, when you learn something, anything at all, let it make you more amazed, not less. Let the learning point up.
Today on Mud Puppy Minute, we will explain why pond water is wet.
Easy. Water is wet because it's nervous. You'd sweat too if everybody kept swimming in you all day.
No. Water is wet because it's made of tiny drops. And the drops stick to you, and that's the wet bit, the sticking. That's the whole thing.
Oh no. That's too sensible, Splash. Take it back. Wet is clearly when water gets excited and jumps on you.
Wait, is it actually just the little drops sticking to stuff?
Nah.
Mud puppies, we have solved it. Wet means water doing a happy little jump. Case closed.
Now here's what's truly going on, little ones, while the frogs take their bow. Water feels wet because its tiny drops cling to whatever they touch. Your hand, a leaf, a feather. The clinging is the wetness. Splash had it for half a second there. We'll let the mud puppies keep their happy little jump. And one more true thing before we go, little ones. Because after the day he had, Professor Hoot was awfully glad to share it. And this time, he wasn't counting.
Professor Hoot here, with a fact that is entirely true. The caddisfly larva you met today builds its little house under the water out of pebbles, sand, and tiny bits of twig. And it spins its own silk to glue them all together. Like a thread it makes inside its own body. As it grows, it adds new pieces to the front. So the house grows along with it. It is a building it can carry, a whole little home on its back. A fact, children. Good evening.
And then the light went gold, and our human friend stood up, brushed the grass off his knees, and headed off home down the path. And the creek felt a little more itself for having had him. That's how I remember it, little ones. Keep your eyes open to the small things. There's no end of wonder in them.
See you next time, somewhere in Shiloh Creek.